Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm running a little bit behind today, apparently. Sorry about that. Let me erase the board behind me. I actually just noticed that. So I got a few things for you today. Sorry about yesterday. I missed out yesterday, right? I was in the middle of something, and it actually ended up getting much later than I thought, so I didn't get a chance to go live. And by the time I got home, I was like, it's kind of late. So sorry about that. There is some crazy stuff going on in Seattle. I don't know if you've been keeping up on it. I have, to a greater or lesser degree. There's a lot to cover, but I'm going to keep it sweet. So they've changed the name now. Now it's not CHAZ, right? It's not Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It is now CHOP, right? Capitol Hill, but they disagree on what the O stands for. Here, I'll show you. You can't make this stuff up, right? Make this stuff up. CHOP, CHAZ. Here we go, right? Boom. Let me go back here to where you can read this. Let's go back over here, right? Rants. This is from mynorthwest.com. Confusion as Seattle activists change CHAZ to CHOP. Activists are trying to change the name of CHAZ to CHOP, but there's confusion over what the O stands for. Some people say it stands for occupied, because Capitol Hill occupied protest or Capitol Hill organized protest. They've been tearing all the signs down, and one unnamed organizer said, because, quote, this is not an autonomous zone and we're not trying to secede from the United States. Because I think what these people have begun to realize, what they have begun to understand, is that if you're autonomous, right? If you're a separate nation, you don't get help. You can't call your mom and ask for clothes or lighters or what's the other stuff they wanted? Chargers and batteries and all this other stuff, right? If you're an autonomous zone, if you're by yourself, then you're by yourself. You're out there on your own. I hope you brought a tent, right? So, hey, Walter. So they're starting to realize, well, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Duh. They really legitimately are like little kids that ran away from home. So KTTH Radio, there's a movement to change the name from Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone to Capitol Hill Occupy Protest. Signs have come down with CHAZ. Not everyone agrees. Last night, there was some tense moments, right? So you can read through this if you want, but the arguments are breaking out in the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone as some people want to take down the CHAZ street sign while others want to keep it in place. It appears the CHAZ street sign is staying for now as the man climbed off the ladder and a struggle broke out over control of the ladder. A woman asks, is anyone in charge? It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. These people cannot figure out what is going on. I'm of the opinion that let them go, right? Let them have it. Let them do what they want. But here's the thing, right? This is my buddy actually brought this up. If you want to be an autonomous nation, your own country, whatever, okay, fine. But the one thing you have to understand is that there are American citizens located in that zone. There are American citizens, and there are teams whose entire job, whose entire existence is based on getting American citizens back, right? give a group an opportunity to leave the zone if they don't want to be there. Let us go in and retrieve people. And then you do what you want, right? Cut the utilities because you're not paying for those. Those come from outside the zone. No shipments in or out. No people in or out. Wall it off. Let them have it. That's what they want to do. Let them have it. Let's face it. The very people that are in charge of that city walked away from it. So why should we send people in to potentially become harmed? Have them hurt? Dave says one woman wants Evian water, Dasani, or she's allergic. I guess she's allergic to certain kinds of water, and of course, she wants it donated. Of course, yeah. Build the wall. Just wall it off and be done with it. Allow people to go in and retrieve the American citizens that are there, and God help you if you decide you don't want to let American citizens leave or be turned over, right? Again, there are teams that are like bona fide awesomeness that can go in and retrieve these people, and it will not end well for these people. Next thing on the list, right? This is comedy gold. It is comedy gold. You can't make this up. So Detroit Free Press, right? I saw this earlier today, right? UAW demands apology and congressional inquiry into Facebook over the word unionize. Okay? This is just amazing. Facebook says it was a mistake, but the UAW and AFL-CIO say it is a censorship and illegal. Here's what happened. In an ongoing online discussion earlier this month, Facebook had a work session about a new tool on its workplace platform, which is an employee communication system similar to Microsoft Teams. Facebook leaders discussed that the tool could provide content control, also known as censorship, designed for administrators to cut down on bullying and harassment. One example given by Facebook as a way to avoid workplace harassment is to remove trending words such as, ready for it, unionize. The suggestion outraged the UAW and AFL-CIO unions and prompted the UAW on Monday to call for a congressional inquiry into Facebook. In the wake of that, the social media giant now says it will sideline plans to develop the tool for content control. Quote, working families deserve better from Facebook. Not only do these tools need to be pulled, Facebook needs to apologize and condemn this effort to deny working families basic rights, said UAW spokesman Brian Rothenberg. What is going on? You've got the left, right? Unions in general are kind of considered to be left, at least the leadership, right? On that, they generally fund Democratic candidates. They generally pour money into Democrat campaigns. Facebook, we all know, has a very lefty slant to it. Okay. The left is eating themselves. They are eating themselves. And it's delicious. I can't put it any other way. Look, I am the only Republican candidate for D1 definitively that was pro-union, right? Anti-right to work in its current form, etc. But in general, we know they're very left. And Facebook is now at war. It is just amazing. Hold on, wife just sent me a couple of things. Let me see what they are. I don't know, it's slow. Anyway, so now the UAW and the AFL-CIO want a congressional inquiry into Facebook. Here's the thing on this, right? Facebook is not your friend. Unions, they are not your friend. Have you not figured out that all of these big, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they're not unionized. None of them are unionized. Why do you think that is? Do you think that they have your best interests at heart? So, oh my god. Okay, here we go. Here's something delicious for you, right? So, this is a post on MX Cartoons. Again, if you're not a member of MX Cartoons, I highly recommend you join. There's some quality stuff there. This is from Donald J. Trump Jr. Apparently, looks like an Instagram post. NBC News. Yeah, rally for Black trans lives 8 hours ago draws packed crowd to Brooklyn Museum Plaza. Yeah, look at that crowd. Absolutely massive, right? 6 hours ago, NBC News, same thing. President Trump plans to rally his supporters next Saturday for the first time since most of the country was shuttered by the coronavirus. But health experts are questioning that decision. Health experts are questioning the decision to have a rally, but crickets and the clink of silverware when it comes to protesting, right? Protesting's okay. As long as you protest what we tell you to protest. As long as you protest, as long as you're, okay with what we say and you follow the narrative, then we will allow you to leave your home. But do not protest the stay-at-home orders. Do not protest our war on the Second Amendment. Do not protest the things that are actually happening, right? Protest the narratives that we push down your throat, and you had better do it right. Give me a break with this. It's beyond ridiculous at that point. So, according to Dave, I assume you're talking about in the CHAZ chop zone. They actually put a preacher in a chokehold today. Man, oh man, it's really, really sad. And so I don't know if you saw it. I'm not going to cover this tonight, but so the left went nuts because Fox News apparently used this image of a guy in the Capitol Hill zone, right, with a gun, and used it in a group of photos somewhere else, right? Whoa. Okay, now I don't have any way to verify this, but according to this post, here it is. Again, MX Cartoons, Sue Marie says CNN got caught. They lightened the photo of the man that drove into protesters in Seattle to make him appear white. When will you guys realize it's us versus the media? They want a race war. Yes, they do. Look at that. Look at that. Again, I don't know. This is just a Facebook post. I don't know the veracity, but it would not surprise me in the least. Absolutely, Dave. Dave says, can you imagine the lefty heads exploding if Facebook, Google, and all the rest unionized? I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I would love it. It would be too much. One more thing to show you that's actually a positive thing. Well, first, one more out of the lefty playbook that you guys, surely you've seen this by now. I'm sure you have. Here it is. Pritzker signs budget out of balance by $6 billion, right? Another far out of whack budget, right? Here is the spending, $42.796 billion. Here's the resources, $36.841 billion. Illinois' 20th consecutive unbalanced budget has nearly a $6 billion gap. $6 billion difference between what they have and what they want to spend. What they have coming in and what they want to spend. $6 billion. $6 billion. Just what? 20th consecutive budget, the 20th one in a row that is unbalanced. What? Don't these people know basic math? And this is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. We need regular Americans, regular people like you and me to become legislators, governors, mayors, because these people have no sense, none, no sense. They honestly believe that the federal government is going to give them that $6 billion to make up that difference. Aren't you a sanctuary state? Like, haven't you officially said, no, we're not going to help the government do its job. We're not going to help to protect our people. Oh, and by the way, you don't get firearms either. Man, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. We need regular people that can get up there and know how to do basic math. Look, I'm no rocket scientist, okay? By any stretch of the imagination, I don't think I could build a rocket. Well, maybe, I don't know. Elon Musk apparently just read some books and knows how to do it. She says, I can't build a rocket. Look, the bottom line is, it doesn't take a super genius to figure out you have this much coming in and only this much going out, right? You got to make the two as close as possible. Preferably less going out than you have coming in. That's ideal, not the other way around. Holy cow, man. One last thing before I let you get back to your evening. So this, finally a piece of good news, right? Justices Thomas and Kavanaugh, right, lament the decade-long failure to protect the Second Amendment. I was like, ooh, okay, what's this, right? So Supreme Court Justices Clarence Thomas and Brett Kavanaugh on Monday admonished their fellow justices for letting Second Amendment cases languish in the lower courts in a dissent to the tribunal's decision not to take up a gun rights case. The last major Supreme Court cases to decide gun rights issues were McDonald v. Chicago and DC v. Heller, both of which came out more than a decade ago. Kavanaugh and Thomas, in the case of an ATM service worker who takes care of machines in, quote, high crime areas, but was told by New Jersey that that's not a good enough reason for him to have a permit to carry a handgun, accused their fellow justices of ambivalence to potential violations of Americans' constitutional right to bear arms. Quote, this court would almost certainly review the constitutionality of a law requiring citizens to establish a justifiable need before exercising their free speech rights. Rightly so. And it seems highly unlikely that a court would allow a state to enforce a law requiring a woman to provide a justifiable need before seeking an abortion, Thomas wrote, in an opinion joined by Kavanaugh. But today, faced with a petition challenging just such a restriction on citizens' Second Amendment rights, the court simply looks the other way. Thomas also detailed the backlog of similar cases in lower courts that have led to split decisions on what restrictions a state may place on a person seeking a permit to carry a gun in public. Quote, the courts of appeals are squarely divided on the constitutionality of these onerous, justifiable need or good cause restrictions. The D.C. Circuit has held that a law limiting public carry to those with a good reason to fear injury to their person or property violates the Second Amendment, he said. By contrast, the First, Second, Third, and Fourth Circuits have upheld the constitutionality of licensing schemes with justifiable need or good reason requirements, applying what purported to be an intermediate scrutiny standard. Such a split between the circuits is generally one of the most compelling reasons for the Supreme Court to take up a case, and is actually laid out in the tribunal's official rulebook. Rule 10, which discusses what the court takes into consideration when deciding to hear a case, says the court is likely to step in when, quote, a United States Court of Appeals has entered a decision in conflict with the decision of another United States Court of Appeals on the same important matter. The Supreme Court had a chance to issue a major, it would have been huge, ruling on a Second Amendment case earlier this year, but punted on it, saying the New York City law in question was changed after the litigation was initiated, making the case moot. Making it moot. No, it was not moot. So gun control and gun rights activists are still waiting to hear what the Supreme Court has to say on a number of restrictive laws that have been implemented in recent years. Thomas, in his dissent Monday, appeared to say he would be willing to strike down the New Jersey law in question. Petitioner asked this court to grant certiorari to determine whether New Jersey's near total prohibition on carrying a firearm in public violates his Second Amendment right to bear arms, made applicable to the states through the 14th Amendment, he said. This case gives us the opportunity to provide guidance on the proper approach for evaluating Second Amendment claims, acknowledge that the Second Amendment protects the right to carry in public, and resolve a square circuit split on the constitutionality of justifiable on that right. Thomas closed with a parting shot at his fellow justices. Rather than prolonging our decade-long failure to protect the Second Amendment, I would grant this petition, he said. Petition. Yes. So, look, Walter says it shall not be infringed. It's very, very simple. It's very cut and dry. Just like he says, the sad reality is that the Second Amendment has been under attack ever since its inception, right? Ever since the Second Amendment was added to the Bill of Rights, there have been people going, well, that's a bad idea. I don't like that. That's scary. Damn that, right? Look, if you have to provide justifiable reason to exercise a constitutionally protected right, then by that logic, shouldn't a paper have to prove they're going to print the truth before being provided some degree of protection, right? The whole thing's ridiculous. It's not something that should stand. It's very simple. These, especially the coast, right? Why is it always the West Coast and the East Coast? This is the middle of the country, with the exception of Chicago. In general, is pretty sane, it seems to me, right? The heartland, flyover country. Do you think like the middle just kind of pushes out, right? We push all the insanity to the coast. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But I do think that the Supreme Court needs to hear these 2A cases. They need to step up. They need to start saying, okay, let's rule on these. And it doesn't matter if the law that initiated this, the case that was supposed to be heard was changed, right? The case itself, the reason it went to the Supreme Court was because it got punted by lower courts. Like, oh, I don't know. Or they ruled this way, then this way, then this way, then this way. That's right, Tammy. Shout out to MX Cartoons. Absolutely. Look, regardless of how you feel about the people on MX, they love their free speech. They are awesome. I like them. They're awesome people. You can post some crazy stuff in there, and they love it. It's also a great source of stories, laughter, and look, it is what it is. Shout out to admins on the page, and hey, we appreciate what you do. So I got some big stuff coming up, some big announcements. Going to be mobilizing here pretty soon. I'm going to be a judge. No, I'm kidding. It's just a joke. I'm not a lawyer. I can't be. Speaking of lawyer, though, okay, a little laugh was okay. You don't have to laugh that much. My wife. Look, I will say this, and it's mildly amusing. When I first decided to run for Congress, and I gave the story, right? It did my little press release to the little local papers. Michigan City's paper, now remember, News Dispatch and Herald Argus, they're the same paper. Okay, one's in Michigan City, one's in LaPorte. It's the same company that owns it. Herald Argus got it right. They posted the entire story just like it was. Michigan City, they posted that I was an attorney. Local attorney, right? The only thing I can figure is that somebody thought they saw an S in my name because we got a judge here, Berger's son. Okay. That's all I can figure, because that was the headline, right? The article, the regular stuff was fine. It was the same thing that I gave them, which I wrote, by the way. These articles that got published, that I wrote them. Just saying, like, they didn't even edit anything. They just took it the way it was and published. Okay, cool. Except that the headline was whatever. Anyway, so no, I'm not running for judge. I will tell you that there are, I mean, Walter, right? Roll with the fake news. Yeah. I mean, so I, of course, just so you know, I looked and nowhere did I see a retraction. Nowhere did I see anything. Whether they did or not, I don't know. I can't definitively say no, they never retracted it. What I can say is I never found one. I did release a press release that was like, I am not now an attorney, nor have I ever been one. So I did what I could, right? Exactly. Walter says roll with the fake news. Biden does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And look, I want to talk about Biden for just a minute, because how can we not, right? How can we not? Have you guys been watching the new press secretary, McEnany? Is that how you say her name? Kaylee McEnany? McKinney? I don't know. Is she brutal or what? Oh my God. The latest one where she was like talking about how the whole renaming the thing, the various military bases with the Confederate generals' names, and how, all these places are trying to rename them, and the president's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then she was like, so you remember that Joe Biden said this and this and this. So are we going to rename the Biden Library? She is awesome. Awesome. I'm going to tell you, I was a huge fan of Sarah Sanders Huckabee, right? Huckabee Sanders. Yeah, Dave, absolutely. I was a huge fan. And I was really, really disappointed. It's so disappointed when she stepped down. I was like, oh man, no, Sarah, don't go. I gotta say, Kaylee's she's killing it. She's smart. She's witty. She don't play. She's got her stuff together. Every time I've seen her, she just drops a bomb in the middle of them, drops that nuke, and then walks out. And you can see her. What I would really like to see, and we know that the press corps kind of controls the cameras, so a lot of times you don't get to see the reactions on these people's faces. I will say this though. Did you notice, especially from this most recent one, how all these people, right, from CBS, NBC, CNN, all these outlets are all wearing a mask? Okay. They're all wearing masks. And the older guy from Fox, is it John? No mask, right? He don't give a damn. He don't care. None of the people up at the front either, right? Now, remember, these are the same news organizations that are telling us, as long as you're protesting the way we want you to, it's okay. It's all right. I'm so over the ridiculousness. I don't know if you heard, but the latest numbers from the Tulsa Trump rally, right? Apparently it only holds 19,000 people. 19,200 people is what the stadium holds. And at last count, there were over 800,000 ticket requests. 800,000 ticket requests. Who's going to lose again? Who has a bottomed out approval rating? And that's Tulsa, right? That's Tulsa. Have you seen Tulsa? Which I just want to talk for just a moment before I go about Tulsa. Anybody there out there ever seen Live PD? Which has been canceled, or at least temporarily, right? I used to watch Live PD all the time. I really enjoyed it. But I had no opinion of Tulsa either way before I saw Live PD. I assumed it was, I don't know, rather Western. I had a couple of deliveries there, but they were on the outskirts when I was driving, right? But that was a number of years ago. Man, when you see Tulsa now in Live PD, it's like, oh, I don't want to go there, right? Tulsa. Holy cow, man. Gangs, drugs, guns, people getting shot in their front yard. Like, woof. I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I mean. That's Tulsa. Come to Northwest Indiana, right? Northern Indiana, Central Indiana, anywhere around here. Come over here, get a rally going. I think we could beat Tulsa's numbers. I think so. What do you think? Hey, what do you think, guys? If we could get some Republicans up here to I don't know, run for some good offices, you think maybe we could get a Trump rally around here where Donald Trump maybe could come and give a recommendation, give an endorsement? Ooh. Yeah, what about where they do Festival of the Lakes, right? We could do that. Or maybe Washington Park. Washington Park's not big enough, though, unfortunately. What's a good location? Think about it. Up here, we could get a Trump rally going. We could get Walorski up here. We could get some people running for state rep up here. And get some good stuff going on. What do you think? Maybe we could even get Snoop to come perform. I'm kidding on that. You guys know what I mean on that. I mean, hey, let's think about it. I'm going to actually do a little research and see where we can make this happen. Because the last one he had in Indiana was down in Evansville. I don't want to drive all the way to Evansville. When was the one in South Bend? I thought that was before Evansville. No, well, I guess we could. I don't want to go to Indy either, though. We could do Indy. I would rather Indy than frickin' Evansville. That was where the last rally was. It was in Evansville, and I was gonna go, and I was like, man, that's a long way, and all the rooms were booked. Of course, there were no rooms available, and I was like, I don't know. And the thing about Indy is it's so expensive for parking, for anything. What do you guys think about Fort Wayne? Would you be willing to drive to Fort Wayne to go to a rally? I think he had one in Fort Wayne before. Fort Wayne's only an hour and a half. Genesis Center? Yeah. Yeah, send me your suggestions to talk@dionbergeron.com, and we'll see if we can get something going. We'll try to communicate with Brad Parscale and see if maybe we can get around. I'd like to have one, man. I think it would be awesome. Yeah, let's have one in Gary. There's nowhere in Gary. Let's have it at the steel mill or the dock, the Port of Indiana. Let's just open the Port of Indiana, stack the container ships, and we can make like stadiums and I'm just being dumb. I wasn't serious. I'm just kidding. It's been great hanging out with you. I really appreciate it. I have some quality content coming up for you. I'm going to tell you, give you a little insight behind the curtain, right? I would like to work out an intro and an outro for the show. Have a dedicated line that you could call in. What about Tailcat, the Railcat Stadium? I think the Railcat. I don't think the Democrats or the Bricky Bowl in Hilbert. Maybe. I mean, here's the thing. it's all Democrat territory anyway, right? In Northwest Indiana, but it would definitely be entertaining, right? I could park Dion 1 right at the entrance with the Second Amendment flag in the back window. Put some Trump vinyl across the side, and make sure that I had a $0 deductible on my insurance before before the event. It is what it is, right? So I'm going to try to get an intro going for the show, an outro, do the stuff, make it a little better. I'm also still trying to get a logo or some kind of something for my president right here to have. Oh, wrong way. I forgot it's reversed. So to put there for the show. Yeah, Jack, Gary, the baseball diamond, the Railcat Stadium, the Bricky Bowl. Look, we have a number of good places. What? Liz says Centennial Park in Munster. What do you guys think? I think we have a number of places that would work out. Yeah. Here's the thing: do we do it indoor or outdoor? If we do it indoor, that's going to be limited, right? We have a lot of outdoor areas that would be good. Of course, depending on weather, but I like it. I think I think the Republican Party should try very, very hard to get Trump to get a rally up here. Let's face it, we have a few seats that are vulnerable, right? I wouldn't say vulnerable. We have a few races that are tighter than they were. Ooh, there's an idea too. We could have it at the shooting range, right? I wish the Jasper one was bigger, because then, hell yeah, we could just have a make it a 2A event, right? I will tell you this: there are some things in the works, and I know, yeah, heck yeah, we can get it. Oh, you know what? We could have like a sideshow bet, right, to see how Trump can line them up and knock them down. Secret Service would lose their minds if anybody else was allowed to shoot around the president, which I get, regardless of how you feel. This is why I don't make a lot of noise, because when they have rallies, obviously you can't go in armed. I'm usually all about the Second Amendment. Let me carry, right? But I get it. Especially in today's political climate, there's no way to know if someone's going to be a threat to the president, and the Secret Service isn't going to let you in. That's just the way it is. Jack says any county fairgrounds, they're all empty. That's another idea. What about LaPorte County Fairgrounds? That's big enough. Any county fairgrounds. Porter County. Yeah, Porter County Fairgrounds. Oh my God, Walter, do you know how the left's head would explode if we had Biden targets set up and Trump was ... Come on. Well, I personally would be all about it. Can you see the CNN, MSNBC, MSDNC news coverage on this? Oh my God, people would melt down. I think they would have meltdowns right then, right there. I'm with you. He's like, oh well, right? I'm with you. I would almost pay to see the heads just. Can you imagine Rachel Maddow the next morning with the footage? Aneurysm right there on live TV, right? The Young Turks. Genius. I love it. We should do it. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with me. Like I said, I got some stuff in the works. Don't forget Thursday. I believe it's this coming Thursday. I'll have to double check with him. I think it's this coming Thursday. I'm going to have Sean Graham on, who is a very, very smart cookie. He does personal finance. He's a investor type guy, right? He'll explain what he does, but it's not just that having him on so he can tell you how to make money. We're having him on so that he can explain the Fed, the dollar, what happens with it. Oh yeah, he's also the former police commissioner of Griffith, and my wife. She's known him since she was 14. They are good friends. Not that good. But yeah, that's right, UB. Trump 2020, baby. Look, I will tell you, I support Donald Trump because who else are you going to support? Aren't we tired of these people pushing the goalpost further and further and further to the left? What began as, oh, you just don't like teachers, or you just don't like these people, or these people, they are full on. The same people used to vote to fund the wall. Now it's walls are racist, right? The same people used to say, oh, we don't support illegal immigrants. Now, being anti-illegal immigrant is racist. The word has lost all meaning. It has lost all meaning. It is absolutely ridiculous. So, fun times noodle salad, as I had, which bonus points if you can name the movie that came from. And I agree with you, Walter. Get new rest. We need to move the post the other way. And that's something that I mentioned before. The pendulum is swinging the other way. Today's high schoolers, today's young college students, especially freshmen before they get brainwashed, they're very conservative. They're very, very conservative. They want their rights. They don't want the state to take over everything. Yes, we will. We will overcome this madness. We will absolutely overcome it. So I look forward to better shows in the future. We're gonna knock this out. We're gonna make it really, really cool. Make it slowly improve, better and better. And I'm gonna tell you, regardless of what happens in the future politically, I'm gonna keep doing this. And whatever position I end up going for, running for, I'm going to keep you informed every step of the way, whether you're, in my district or not. I think it's important now more than ever for our representatives, our county council, our stuff, to communicate with the people. That's one thing that's been sorely lacking. They hand off their social media accounts to aides and interns, and you never really talk to them. So I think that's something that's sorely missing. So I think we're the beginning of a movement, right? So thanks a lot for coming out.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose. All rights reserved.